Rev up your engines!
J91 says, I got a 2001 F-150 V6 4.2. I was checking the oil and saw some milky stuff on the cap. Generally, milky stuff is water. Let's say you don't drive that truck all that much. When you burn gasoline, which is nothing but a bunch of carbon and hydrogen in Earth's atmosphere, one of the byproducts is H2O, water. So you're always getting some water build up inside a vehicle. If you do not drive that vehicle a lot, it will get white residue on the oil cap. That's water that's condensed there. Now, if you drive that thing every day and drive it 20, 30,000 miles a year, no, you probably got a blown head gasket. You can check that with my video, how to tough your head gasket's blown. But it can just be condensation built up if you don't use the truck much. And if that's the case, drive it more. And I would change the oil you use too. I found that the synthetic oil generally doesn't have quite as much problem. I put full synthetic oil in it. Dream Crew 3 says, Scotty, I got an 03 Celica GT. It makes a whining noise when you press the gas. When you step on the gas and you hear a whining noise, unfortunately for you, most of the time inside the transmission, bearings or seals or something starts to whine. You got to pinpoint a noise like that, of course, because it could even be a fan belt pulley. If you're curious about that, you could just take the fan belts off and then just drive it around the block, and if the noise goes away, you know it's something that's driven. I have to decipher where noises come from, and I got to do it pretty fast. So what I generally do is I've got this sound device machine, car and body panel noise finder, and it comes with 4 units. You clip one each different parts of the car, then you wear headphones, and the control unit, you click 1, 2, 3, 4, one at a time, and you can listen where the noise is coming from, and you can really pinpoint it fast that way. You can buy stuff like that used on eBay for $50, and a new one's like $120. They're actually quite handy. Nick Gal says, Scotty, my 96 Buick's fuel gauge goes up and down when I accelerate and stop. Okay, fuel gauges are pretty simple devices. They're just a float in your gas tank, and on the other end is a variable resistor. And as it goes up and down, it sends varying amount of electricity to the fuel gauge, which makes it go up and down. When they act up, generally it's 2 things. Usually the sending unit in the gas tank goes bad. You didn't mention the age, but as they age, the resistor or something inside starts to short out and it doesn't work right. And then you gotta, on a Buick, drop the gas tank, take it apart, put a new float and fuel pressure sending unit in and put it back together again. But they can also get electrical shorts. Wiring sends power in and then power comes out. And if there's an electrical short anywhere, like when you accelerate or hit a bump or stop hard, then the wiring comes jostles loose and it can shake too. So check the wiring too. Sometimes the wiring, especially on those GMs, goes bad near the top of the tank. They actually have a splice kit for it. So many of them went bad. You went to Jared? Hi, Scotty and team. I love what you do for the world. Keep it up. What do you think of hidden fuel filters? Generally, hide them in the gas tank now. I think it's very stupid, but that's how they're building cars now. They used to have them near the engine, or sometimes they had them on the bottom of the gas tank where it came out when they had the fuel pumps outside. Now they put the fuel pumps inside, and they generally have assembly that has a fuel pump and the filter, and it filters inside the gas tank, and then the rest just goes to the car. Well, the engineers say, oh, that's the most efficient way, reduces flow, blah, blah, blah. But basically it creates a gigantic mess that hardly everybody, and it changes their fuel filter. Hardly anybody changes them anymore because some cars you got to drop the gas tank, but even if you only have to take the back seat out, you got to take the back seat out, then you got to take the ring off on the gas tank, and there's a gasket there, and when you put it back in, a lot of times it leaks and your car smells of gasoline. It makes changing the fuel filter a pain in the butt, where it used to be all you had to do was take off 2 screws and a line, or they had bolt-on connections, you'd on-bolt them, or in the American case of making things as cheap as possible, they had snap-on connectors. Then you had a special tool that had to fit in and on-snap them. But yeah, it's a pain having them in the trunk, but that's what they do nowadays. They had a mess. Scotty, thanks for your help. Would you choose a Tacoma 4-banger or a 6-cylinder? I'd pick the 4-banger because I don't do any heavy pulling or any carrying and load in the back of the bed. You pay a lot more for the 6-cylinder engine, and if you really look at it for a Toyota, I know my son did because he bought a 4-cylinder Tacoma instead of a V6 because he said not only did the V6 cost more, but, and it was thousands and thousands more, he said that the 4-cylinder really could carry and tow almost as much as a 6-cylinder. That's more limited by the frame and stuff than it is by the engine, so I'd get a 4-banger. Alex says, Scotty, do you still fix cars? Well, yes, I do. I've been doing it for 51 years. I like the combination of using my brain all the time, making videos, answering people's questions, and using my hands and having a karmic experience with machines, be one with the machines. Plus, it gets me out of the house and gives me something to do and keeps my mind sharp. Here I am giving you car advice, right? Let's say I stop working on cars. Well, in a short period of time, my advice would be on modern cars because I'd have no experience with them. Now, the one thing I didn't like about modern cars over the years was they kept putting more and more technology, so you needed more and more expensive tools and analytics to work on them. Now I get all that stuff free. So now I get all these really expensive tools and $5,000, $10,000 analytic computers to work on cars with, and I don't have to pay for them. Plus, I don't have to repay for them to charge my customers a lot more to pay for these tools because I'm getting them for free, so I can charge my customers less too. So that's a win-win situation. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.